There's no amount of people that could ever show up that would change the way I feel about what I do. I grew up in church. St. Joseph of the Holy Family, corner of 125th Street, Morningside Avenue, Harlem, New York City. My parents, my grandmother, always kept me in church. Me and my grandmother, we had a very, very interesting relationship with our parish. See, my grandmother, she loves the choir. And because she loves the choir, naturally, I began to clung to the choir as well. So we decided that we were going to go see one of the singers in the choir at his private personal concert. See, my grandmother loves the choir so much that she has relationships with practically everybody in the choir. So last summer, I was at church one day. I went up to the guy, his name is Barry. I said, Barry, what's up, man? He said, good. One of the other choir members said, oh, did Barry tell you about his concert? I said, no, Barry didn't tell me about his concert. I said, Barry, you having a concert? Barry said, yes, I am. I said, Barry, I want tickets and I want to take my grandmother. Where can I buy them? Barry said, okay, here you go. Let me send you some info. Boop, boop, boop. Sent me some information. And about a week later, I was watching Barry with my grandmother. When I walked now, Barry is one of the greatest singers I've ever heard. I mean, brother got vocals. Brother Lungs is there. He's sharp. He's real good. I mean, you can talk Aretha Franklin, you can talk Kirk Franklin, you can talk Fred Hammond, you can talk Marvin Sapp, you can talk all of those gospel singers. My man is there. I don't know why he don't got a record deal, but he's there. So me and my grandmother were so excited. We get to the place. Real spacious auditorium, real spacious, a lot of seats, but not a lot of people. And me and my grandmother, we got lucky. We found a parking spot. So we got there a little earlier. And I walked in, I sat down, I looked around, said, guess we're a little early. So we sit down, and now me and my grandma are talking. Barry comes out with his co-singers or backup singers. They're introducing themselves to us. We're talking. But I'm looking around. Ain't no people here. Little by little, one person trickles in, another person trickles in. Now, there's a lot of seats in this auditorium. But right now, it's like 4 of us in here. And me and my grandmother are half of them. A couple more people trick in, 5, 10 minutes later. By the time we start, there's about 12 to 15 people in here. Maybe less. About 12 people. Now, by the time the concert started, I forgot all about the people that were in the room. Because once that man opened up his mouth, once he started singing, once he started pouring his heart out into those lyrics, I forgot who was in the room. I forgot my grandmother was in the room. I was encapsulated by his gift. I was encapsulated by that man's presence. I was encapsulated by his ability to sing, to portray emotion, to display the human experience at one of its finest forms. I forgot all about who was there. Barry took he killed it. One of the greatest concerts, probably the greatest concert I've ever been to. There was 12 people there. And me and my grandmother were 2 of them. There was 12 people there. After the show, I went up to Barry. Barry, that was incredible, man. That was awesome. I went up to the background singers. You women are miraculous. That was the greatest concert I've ever been to. That was awesome. Thank you for being here. Me and my grandmother, we got in the car after we left and we drove uptown, we drove home. Only thing we could talk about was the concert. How good Barry was, some of the laughs that we had, what songs we really, really liked, how great the pianist was. Not one time did we talk about the amount of people that were there. You see, that was a big moment. That was so big for me and my perception development, because immediately, once I walked in the room, I said, yo, something's got to be wrong. Barry is great. He's worth more than 12 people here. His gift is worth thousands, hundreds of thousands. This place should be packed. Barry's not no new singer. Barry's been singing longer than I've been alive. Brother is that good. Yet there's 12 people here. How in the world does somebody who has one of the best voices, I probably think, in Harlem, he's been singing for over 21, 22 years, longer than my lifespan. How does he have 12 people at his concert? He's on streaming apps. You can go on, you can listen and find his music on your phone. How does my man have 12 people here? It ain't about who shows up. It don't matter if 1, 2, 3, or 400 people show up to the concert. That doesn't change how good Barry is. The people, I mean, they're just there. They're here to watch him. And he's putting on a show because he loves the work. He loves the craft. He loves singing. And you can tell. Why? Because he gave his heart out for 12 people. And 2 of them were me and my grandmother. It's not about who sees you. It's not about who comes to the show. It's about whether or not you give it your all when you're in front of those people. It's about whether or not you serve them to the best of your ability whenever the chance presents itself. It's not about how many followers you have. It's not about how many copies your book sells, how many people listen to your song, how many people buy your food or your clothing brand. Did you make the best product you could? Then you've done your job. If God were to look at you and say, well done, my son, well done, my daughter, then you've done your job. It's not about numbers. It's not about recognition. That's not why we do this thing called life. That's not why we sing. That's not why we write. That's not why we craft. That's not why we work so hard in some of these areas that are so personal and intimate to us. We don't do it for recognition. We do it because we love it. We do it because it makes us feel whole. We do it because if you were to take that one thing away from us, right? For those of y'all who are athletes, those basketball and football players, you take that sport away from them, life is lifeless. There's no meaning to life. You take a writer's ability to write out of his life, he's got nothing, right? If you take an actor's passion for acting and for story structure and for character work, life sucks. Life is quite boring without those things. They connect us to each other. They connect us to the world. They connect us to the human experience. That's why we give everything we have. That's why we give everything we have. I don't need you to see me. God sees me, and that's more than you could ever do for me. Now, granted, if you show up, I'm grateful for your support, and I'm going to thank you every time I see you. I would love for you to come, but if you don't, nothing changes. Let me say that one more time. I would love for you to come, but if you don't, nothing changes. Why? Because I'm not doing it so you can see me. I'm not doing it so you can see me. I'm doing it because I love to do this. And there's nothing you could ever do to change that. There's no amount of people that could ever show up that would change the way I feel about what I do. None. You could pack it out. 1 million, 100,000. Send your army. It should not change how you feel about what you do. Now, granted, I'm going to be honest. Have there been times where I'm speaking and there's 4 to 5 people there? Absolutely. Does it mess with my mind a little bit and my perception and my ability to speak? Absolutely. Does it make me change the way I feel about speaking and serving others? Nope. Does it make me question whether or not I'm meant to do this or whether or not I should maybe consider a different calling? Nope. Does it make me question every decision I've made up until this point or my future in this world or this work field? No. Why? Because I'm not doing it for recognition. If 4 people saw it, great. If 400 people saw it, great. And I think what God is trying to realize, because we see this all throughout the Bible, how many times does Jesus go and heal somebody and then he looks to him and says, look, don't tell anybody. Go and be on your way. Just go show yourself. Don't tell anybody I healed you. I don't want the recognition. Don't tell them. Just go. And I feel like, especially in my life, especially in these young adults, even the older ones, he's trying to get us to understand that you don't have to be mainstream to be loved. You don't have to be mainstream to be good. You don't have to have 1 million followers and a blue check to be awesome. The world doesn't have to know your name for you to be important. Barry sung his heart out for 12 people, and 2 of them were my grandmother and I. Yet Barry did his job that day. He fulfilled his purpose and he fulfilled his calling. And it had nothing to do with those 12 people there. It had everything to do with him and the effort he was going to give to his gift and to his craft. It had nothing to do with those 12 people there. And a lot of times we make the mistake of thinking that if people don't see us, we must not be good. That is the enemy himself trying to trick you. That is the devil himself trying to trick you. We can't fall for no more of those traps. It was not enough time in a day, in a year, in a week for us to continue believing that. You have to fall in love with the process. Speakers say that, people say that all the time. You have to fall in love with the process. Well, what does that mean to fall in love with the process? It means that I fall in love with the highs and the lows. I take everything and I embrace them all. I fall in love with growing. I fall in love with learning. I fall in love with winning. I fall in love with losing. The process is where I figure out who I am. The process is quite honestly where I have the most fun. The reward, the result, that's just the cherry on top. Once it's over, it's over. The process gives me purpose. The process gives me purpose. The process is where I find God. The preparation and the process is where I find God. The result is where I experience His grace and mercy. The preparation and the process is where I find God. The result is where I experience His grace and mercy. You gotta love the process. You have to love the process.